What is up, Jags fans? Wow, what a emergency show we are doing here on a Monday night. If this is your first time here, we usually do film breakdowns and live shows on Tuesday and Friday nights at 9 p.m. But tonight is a special occasion because the news just broke. The Jaguars traded James Robinson to the Jets for a conditional sixth, maybe fifth. I don't know what it's going to be. We have to look more into it. Get in the chat. Let me know what you think. He can hit me up on Twitter or Instagram if you want and give me your thoughts there as well. But man, listen, they were actually we've actually been talking about this. Like in our circle, we have little group chats. We've been talking about how the second Breece Hall went down with that ACL injury, the fact that James Robinson like barely played kind of gave me like a little bit of a red flag that something was going down. Like did not expect it to happen this quick, but obviously the front office and Doug were thinking it. So here it is, boys. Here it is. Nolly Full Cab's a channel member. He's the first one in the chat. Fat Boy Shad tried to be first, but he wasn't. Jags Duval. Philip Butcher is also a channel member. I have a feeling the chat's going to be popping tonight. So channel members, I can see them a little bit better. So I'm going to hit their comments. But I want to get everyone's comments. I want to get your thoughts. If I miss it, just type it again, all right? The chat's kind of going off, which I love, by the way. Shay says, for a sixth, fifth, I'm keeping him. ETN better learn to pass block quick. Yeah, so we talked about the PFF grades, and we'll just kind of look as we're talking. We'll just kind of look at some of the stuff, kind of look at his numbers here. Let's see if I can make it a little bigger for y'all. Been a decent player. I mean, he really has been. We all know how good he's been. But the bottom line is I don't think Doug plans on running the ball. And I said this on Twitter. Regardless of what we want, regardless of what we think about James Robinson, I don't think there's any desire for the Jags to run the ball that much. And ETN getting the carries, I think they like what they have in Jermichael Hyde. I don't know. I think you could have gotten more, maybe. Maybe that was yeah, I mean, we didn't do much with our 5th round pick. I mean, was Monteric Brown? Was he a 6th round pick? He hasn't even seen the field. I mean, I don't know. Are you just getting value out of him? I mean, this is the second coach in a row that hasn't wanted to play James Robinson. Now, I know we love him, but we look at Urban Meyer, we look at Doug Peterson, and obviously neither one think he's capable of being the every down back for us. Now, I think he's good. Maybe the coaches think that any back can get plugged in and do what he did. Maybe. I mean, that's the only thing. We don't need this anymore, do we, here? Let's see if I can. Yeah, so I want to get to what y'all think for sure. There we go. C Breacher says, I'm sad. 28 Meme Co says, bad move, Jags. Let me get down here in the comments here. If I get behind, again, it's going quick. I'm going to try to. Nolly Full Cab says, Hasty hasn't been bad either. Philip Butcher says, keep in mind, they drafted Snoop in the 5th. Are you telling me J-Rob isn't better than Snoop? What a joke. So maybe they like Snoop Connor. Maybe he's a guy that that they'll play there. Now, something that I think is pretty evident, and we'll pull the pin out here. Something that I think is kind of alarming is the receptions. Like only 11 targets in 2022. Only 9 receptions. I think Doug Peterson wants a guy who can run it. Now, I know you have guys like, was it Jay Ajayi he used in Philadelphia, or LeGarrette Blunt even, I think, who weren't receiving backs. But the only thing I can think of is that he didn't want to. He wanted a receiving back. I don't know. 1 receiving touchdown, 46 receiving yards. That's pretty good. 81 carries, 340 rushing yards. 3 rushing touchdowns. Look, this 4.2 yards per attempt. I think the Jags as a team average over 5. So he's under the Jags yards per attempt. Now, it's not necessarily fair because he's in a lot of short yardage situations where we know we're running. 1 fumble, 2.6 yards after contact, 8 10-plus runs. I think this is where maybe the Jags coaches think that they could plug in anybody there and they do it. I don't know. Listen, I think they could have gotten more, but let's see what you guys think. Back to the comments here. Daniel Jean Mary says, this GM has to go, bro. Jags history says, maybe it's about speed for why they traded him. I don't know. It's a good point. I mean, they do like the speed backs. ETN was balling yesterday besides the fumble. It's true. I mean, ETN has definitely emerged as the number one back. He's the guy. He's the guy. And so, how valuable is a number 2 running back on a Doug Peterson ran offense? So I guess that's the question. Obviously, all of the coaches were in sync with this, from Press Taylor to Mike McCoy. So obviously, either they like Hasty. Christian says Hasty season. Either they like Hasty, or they just, quite frankly, think they could plug and play anybody. But someone has to be elevated because they only had 3 backs. It's hard being a Jags fan, says 28 Memeco. This year's been better than this year has been better than so many years. I was at the game yesterday. Jags, okay, so there was definitely it was definitely 75-25 Giants fans to Jags fans. And I feel like every Jags fan left before the final drive. And I'm sitting there thinking, why is everyone leaving? Like, we could win this game still. And we almost did. But yeah, I don't know. We'll get to tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Set your alarms. We're going to be breaking down the film from the Jags game on Sunday against the Giants. Timmy Devil 999 says, we are such a bad franchise. Israel Otero says, this team is pathetic. The Giants and the Jets have better records than us. It's true. Pathetic is a word that keeps coming to my mind when I watch them too, to be fair. Christian says, and Snoop Connor. Brendan Keene says, as a Jets fan, I've always wondered why J-Rob never got used more. Happy we got him. Hopefully you guys get a good player with the draft pick. Brendan, that's the nicest thing I think a fan's ever said from an opposing team. You guys are going to love James Robinson. I tweeted, he's a consummate professional, and he's one hell of a running back. He has, I think, Brandon, just so you and the Jets fans know, he has probably the best backfield and cutback vision of backs that I've seen in a long time. Now, I'm not equating his skill overall to Emmitt Smith, and I know I'm going to get crap in the comments later about Emmitt Smith, but I think that his vision, the way he sees lanes before they open, is similar to a guy like that. Who he kind of sees it before it happens. So I always loved that about him. But I think someone mentioned it. The Jags are looking for speed right now. Jeremy Price says, Jason, sorry I missed you yesterday. I got Baselli's autograph though. That's all right. The place I usually go, the Sky Patio, actually got they had bleachers there for Florida, Georgia. So I didn't even get to hang out there like I usually do. I just sit in my terrible seat. So didn't miss me. We'll get together at the next game. We'll break that more down tomorrow. Is it time to move Darius outside? Yeah, I already missed it already, but yeah. Okay, bench Griffin and see what we got with one of our younger corners in the slot. I thought the defense played pretty well without Griffin, but we'll get to that more tomorrow for sure. We just keep disrespecting the players that come from nowhere and contribute to our organization immensely. Yeah, I mean, the Jags have had a history of treating this like a franchise that has no loyalty to the players. So it's hard to get mad at guys when they make business decisions like fake injuries or hold out. It's hard to get mad at them when you treat players like this. That's a fair point. Long John Silver 85, who's also a channel member, says, with our luck, Etienne will get... I'm not even going to read the rest of that. Not even going to read the rest of that, Long John. Absolutely not. Philip Butcher says, as a very loyal Jags fan, I can't think of anything but pathetic. I hate Shad as the owner. I really do. Yes, he's tried, but he's not a good owner at all. I mean, listen, the alternative, he's been very hands-off. He's letting guys run the team. He's been very hands-off. The alternative is a guy like the Colts owner, Jim Irsay, and he's out there making decisions for the team and telling them to bench Matt Ryan and to play Sam Ehlinger. So that's the alternative. I would rather have a guy like Shad Khan who writes checks and hires people. That's just me. He hasn't been successful. He hasn't. But look, he's building things. Philip Butcher, $5 super chat. He says, that's all I got. Thank you. Thank you, Philip. Listen, we're all in the same boat. We're not happy to see J-Rob go. I think J-Rob has been sort of like, I don't know, he's one of these guys that kind of got us through hard times, right? The team wasn't very good, and the one shining spot was we had this running back that everyone in the league knew. He was a fantasy contributor. People knew the Jags by James Robinson. But I don't think we're that team anymore. We're just not the same team. Like, I get the trade. Like, would I have tried to get more value? Yeah, but I think they did try to get more value. And I'm not justifying it. I'm just, like, I think you should have been. If I'm coach, I'm running the 2 running back system, but Doug Peterson's not. He's not running the 2. He's going to throw the ball 50 times a game. That's who Doug Peterson is. So if you're happy with Doug Peterson, that's what he's going to do. He won a Super Bowl doing it. So I think you have to give him some time, but I'm with you guys. Like, I'm just as disappointed. J-Rob was good. But Etienne, I mean, he's been playing really, really well. I mean, you have to give Etienne credit. And I think the coaches just see that too, for sure. C. Breacher says, as an Etienne fantasy owner, I have a little smirk. Well, I think the James Robinson fantasy owners also have a little smirk because now they're no longer sharing carries. Now they're both number one backs. So I'm happy for James Robinson. I think this is the best thing that could have happened to James Robinson as a person. Now, as a Jags fan, it hurts to see him go. But as a person, I met his brother on a flight one time from I was in Chicago. I was flying down. His brother was flying down to watch him play. It looks just like him. Great guy. Nate the Great says it's time to get rid of Trenton Baalke. I mean, we should have won the Giants game, and James Robinson barely contributed. So, I don't know. 6th and 7th round picks are throwaway picks. J-Rob was worth a third. Ooh, it's a good point, Joe. Yeah, 6th and 7th round picks are pretty trash. Even 5th round picks, you have to get pretty lucky. Man. Thanks for the back, says Euphoria. Hey, you're welcome. Hey, take good care of him, man. Take good care of him. He's a great guy. He'll never complain. He was in some crappy situations here in Jacksonville. He never said a bad thing, man. I'm rooting for James Robinson harder than I ever did for a guy like Jalen or Ngakoue or any of these other slappies that, James Robinson put his head down and did what he had to do. I mean, I got nothing but good things to say about James Robinson. I hope he does great in New York. I'm really rooting for him. Volkfang says, remember Calais only got us a 5th. Yeah, trades. I heard someone on the radio actually talking about trading straight up was Elijah Moore for James Robinson. Now, is that something they tried to do? Is James Robinson or is Elijah Moore too redundant as a 5'10", 180-pound receiver? Maybe. Who knows what they tried to do? I mean, we'll never know. This loss was on Peterson, says Israel. Israel, we're not to the breakdown yet. Tomorrow night at 9, we're breaking down the film. Tonight's all about J-Rob. Listen, I liked J-Rob as a person. I still really do. I figured he deserved to have a show dedicated to him. As an undrafted rookie, you rarely see undrafted rookies pop off the way that he did. So shout out to James Robinson. Again, rooting for the guy so hard. I hope he takes it to the next level. Les Duval says, what a 6th rounder. He's like, I know, 6th rounder's pretty low. I mean, that's not very good. Let's look at let's look at this. 2022, we're gonna look at the 6th round. If I could type NFL draft. All right, here we go. Let's take a look. All right. This is the 1st round. Let's go to the. All right, let's start with the 5th round. Okay, let's start with the 5th round because I think it's only fair because I think this pick could be a 5th round pick because the Jets are pretty good. So let's take a look at who was taken in the 5th round this year. Sam Howell, I think he's starting. He's going to be starting soon. Let's see here. Snoop Connor, okay, like people said, Snoop Connor's here at that pick. Not seeing a lot of value here. But maybe this isn't fair. Maybe this isn't fair. Maybe we need to go 2021 6th round pick. Just to see. I don't know. Nick Neiman, LA Chargers. Get out of here, ad. Trey Hill. I don't. Deontay Brown starting. Elijah Mitchell's playing. Okay, not the greatest. Jalen Camp. Okay, not Cole Van Lanen. Look at our boy, Cole Van Lanen. There you go. Sam Ellinger, he's starting here soon. All right, let's try the 5th round. Let's try the 5th round. And just see. There's got to be. Listen, the picks are not great. The picks aren't great, boys. I'm not gonna sit here and act like that we hit a home run with this. Absolutely not. That would be disingenuous. Luke Farrell, Brevin Jordan, Evan McPherson's a good kicker. I'm grasping at straws here, boys. Sean Wade, he fell because of the draft. Whatever happened pre-draft. Okay. So not the greatest value. So they're throwaway picks for sure. This is making it worse, says Mr. October. Okay, Shay brings up a good point. Shay always brings up good points. He says, can you use the 5th to trade up in other rounds? Yes. Yes, we can. Will we? I don't know. I don't know. Jaggernaut says, "What's up, Jags United? What the heck just happened?" Okay. I don't think there's something up about two coaches back to back not wanting to play James Robinson. And it's weird because when we use our eyeball test, and we see James Robinson, he's very productive. But this is now two coaches in a row that have either directly or indirectly said, we're good without James Robinson. I can't explain it. But here's the thing. Urban Meyer did the same thing. I know Urban Meyer's not a good coach, but Urban Meyer said the same thing. He said he drafted a running back in the first round and then gave Carlos Hyde snaps over James Robinson. Now, I'm not saying it was right or wrong, but we're now seeing a pattern. So I don't know. Maybe these offensive line coaches, these run game coordinators are going to the head coaches and they're saying, hey, look, this offensive line can block up these schemes well enough to where you could put anybody in there and they'd run it successfully. And maybe a step further, maybe these same running backs coaches, these same run game coordinators, these same offensive line coaches, maybe they're going to the head coach and they're saying a faster guy, a guy who can hit the hole quicker, will actually be more successful. And we see guys like, Jermichael Hasty house it. And maybe that's what they're saying. Listen, we're not in those meetings. It's hard to know. It is hard to know. Jags traded the wrong Robinson. No, Cam paid too much money. Hopefully Etienne can learn to pass block better. Michael Hasty. Now, here's the thing. Again, I'm big on the eyeball test. Like, watching the backs, I feel like Etienne is a better pass blocker, but the PFF grades say that James Robinson is the best pass blocker. Make sure the like button works, everyone. The numbers should go up when you hit it. Thank you, Volkfang. Thank you. Volkfang's right. Hit the like button. It's a thumbs up. It takes half of a second, okay? Takes half of a second. This is due to Peterson's throw-first mentality? Absolutely, Jaggernaut. Absolutely. Do you think he has a bad attitude behind the scenes? That's a good question, Les Duval. I don't know. He gives no, it doesn't look like he does that, right? Like, no inclination, that's the word, that he is like that behind the scenes. But there's something there. I think, personally, like I said, the coaches, the running game coordinators, they're going to the head coach and they're saying the holes that are being opened by this offensive line, like we could literally put anybody back there and it would work. I think it's what they're doing, and they got value for James Robinson, and it's his contract year. I mean, that's another thing we haven't even talked about one time. This is his contract year, so the Jets are going to have to either franchise tag him, which they're not, or they're only going to have him for half of the season. So we were what? We're 10 games away from having to lose James Robinson. And if the front office and Trent Baalke said, listen, we're not going to re-sign this guy, then it was the right move, because the team is not looking like they're making a run at the playoffs. So it's the right move. If you're not going to re-sign him next year, you're not going to franchise tag him, you're not going to transition tag him, you have ETN, you have Hasty, you have Snoop Connor. Is 10 games of James Robinson worth the 5th round pick you potentially could get? He seems like a quiet guy, but it's possible he's a locker room problem. I don't know. It is possible. I don't know. Shay says, yeah, I agree. Jags weren't signing him next year. Timmy Devil says, DTWD, you talking about draft status, and he's been a 1,000 back and a 3 to 4 touchdowns this year. Oh, we're not gonna call people names, Timmy. Okay. Youthphoria MG says it'll be a 5th round pick. All right. Cosmic Baller says, what's up, dude? What's up, Cosmic? I had a pretty good day today. I coach a flag football team. We won. That was nice. Redjet206 says, comp update. Check Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter. Let's see. Adam Schefter. Twitter. My Twitter is going off right now. I think it's because I tweeted something. All right, let's see here. We'll zoom in for the boys so y'all blind people can see. Another comp update. The conditional 6th round pick that the Jets traded to the Jags for James Robinson will become a 5th round pick if the running back rushes for 600 yards this season, per source. Robinson has already rushed for 340 yards. And, so he only needs 260 more yards on the season. Okay. He's going to get that. That's 26 yards a game for the rest of the season, right? He'll get that. He'll get that for sure. Yeah, see, it's going to be a 5th. I figured it would be a 5th. So it is. It's going to be a fifth unless he gets hurt. So that was basically the condition because he's going to be the starting running back there in New York. So unless he gets hurt, it's going to be a fifth-round pick. What are we really going to get out of a fifth, says William? Probably not much. Yeah, you're right. But Shay brought up a good point. You could package that together with another fifth and move up to the third maybe. Tiger Talk. This is kind of irrelevant, but it just sucks that the Jaguars cannot catch a break. Like every team gets lucky and unlucky, but the Jags are so damn unlucky, man. Tiger, that's a good point. It seems like we watch the film on teams like the Giants and the teams like the Jets, and they do seem to get lucky at the end of games where we can't seem to catch a break. I'm hoping the luck turns around, though. The luck could turn around on the season, or it could just be growing pains with a first-year coach, second-year quarterback, pretty much a newly assembled team. You know, I like what we're getting out of the guys like Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram and the guard Brandon Sheriff. So I mean, I like what we're getting out of them, and then maybe next year we take a big step. They basically gave James Robinson away for free. It absolutely makes no sense. Well, DTWD, you got to remember this was the last year of his contract. So we were only going to have him for 10 more games probably. Ben the Scientist, a fifth is a lottery ticket and hopefully a depth piece. Volkfang says, per Jordan DeLugo, that gave us 2 fourths and 2 fifths, which gives them picks to move. Okay, so now we have 4 picks in rounds 4 and 5, is what you're saying, and we could package that together and move up. Sam Rosendahl says, I love Robinson. He's awesome, but we are being sentimental. We didn't need Robinson. Ooh, so Sam brings in the emotionless logic. All right, Sam. All right. Hey, listen, I'm usually your type of person. Jaguars Ken Knowledge says the 5th/6th round pick will be a depth-wise prospect in 2023. Or a kicker. Right? Brees Hall is done for the year. Yep. Wydock 5000. What up, Wydock? He says, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't think paying running back is the right move nowadays, but still surprised. Yeah, that's probably fair. Timmy Devil says ETN equals Antonio Gibson. Okay. Mr. Frizzle GA says he was an undrafted free agent, so we got a pick without using one on him. Okay, so Mr. Fizzle is a zero-sum game guy, and he says, look, we didn't even use a pick on this guy. We got him for 3 or 4, I don't know the number, great years, and we got a pick for him. So basically, we got a free pick. There's some logic starting to creep into this chat. I like it. Tuggernut says, Jamal Agnew just posted a sad face on Twitter, so J-Rob definitely wasn't an issue in the locker room. Yeah, I mean, the more I kind of think about it, there's no way. I don't know. I think maybe just the style of back that he was, just the one-cut guy. But like I said earlier, what made James Robinson like such an outstanding back was his vision. The dude could see cutback lanes and could see holes opening before I could. And like, I'm watching the all 22. Like I'm watching how the play's supposed to hit, right? And he saw it. Not where the play's supposed to hit, but he could read where the defense was going to be. Great, outstanding vision. He's going to be good in New York. He really is. And he'll probably get a nice bulk of carries up there. December 22nd, the Jags will regret this trade when he rushes for 150 and 2 touchdowns? Yeah, probably. It makes sense because Doug doesn't care about the run game, says Cosmic Baller. Yeah, that's true. You're right. Do you think they let James Robinson pick? No, I don't think they let him pick his team because the Jets were in a desperate need of a back, and they caught some breaks this year and have a good record. So I think it actually might have worked out well. Thanks, Jags, for the offer. Let's go Jets. Hit me. Hey, take care of him. Like I said, take care of him. Jags history says J-Rob had no emotion, but I don't think that was it. Yeah, I think you're right. Ken Hill says, I don't feel like we got any value in this trade. Best wishes for J-Rob. Yeah, I mean, 5th round pick is not very valuable. I think the people that have been talking about in the chat, packaging it with your other picks, maybe it's best value because you're not going to pick a player there that's going to help you. You're right. This was a good move, says Sigrin88. He says, we maybe got a 5th out of it when he wasn't getting re-signed. We didn't even get squat for Fournette. Ooh, Sigrin. Good point. Kyle Durbin. J-Rob was quiet, head down, do his job. It's got to be because of the injury. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the injury is as big of a deal. I think they thought about trading him, honestly. I think they saw what they were getting out of ETN. They probably shopped him for a couple weeks. Moon says, "Welp, we got fleeced." Moon, I don't know. I mean, he's a good back, but I don't think they were going to resign him next year. So we missed out on 10 games. 10 games for James Robinson. Like the Jets are renting him. I don't think they're going to resign him either. I think Breece Hall is their future. They throw J-Rob away for a stick of gum and a ham sandwich. Guys, we weren't going to re-sign him. We only had 10 games. I know I keep saying this, but we only had 10 games left with him. I know we all loved him. I mean, he gave Jags fans something to root for in an era where we had nothing to root for. And he came out of nowhere. He was an underdog. He worked his way to the top. Listen, I like him as much as all of you guys, but we weren't going to re-sign him. You had 10 more opportunities to watch James Robinson in a Jags jersey. That was it. White Dog says every pick is valuable. Brady was the 199th. Brady's always the exception to every rule, though, White Dog, to be fair. Yeah, Brady's the exception. Good try. Okay. Tugger Net, what up, Tug? Should the team start moving players out that aren't a part of the team's future before the trade deadline? I'm trying to think of like what players won't be a part of the team's future that have any trade value. I don't think anyone's trading for like Marvin Jones. I don't think anyone's. I'm going through my head. Is it Roy Robertson Harris? I don't think anyone's trading for him. Smoot. I think he's up too. I don't know. I think they can get out of that Shaq Griffin contract, but no one's going to trade for him. Could have had Fred and MJD part 2, says Fatboy Shot. Yeah, but Peterson, that's not his offense. That's not what he does. He's not gonna run the ball like that. You're right. We could have, but that's not what he's gonna do. They should have traded him for 2 sticks of gum. Yeah. My issue is why wouldn't we re-sign him though? We could have easily re-signed him for just a couple of million. It's a good point, Cy. I don't know. I don't think backs are worth getting paid a couple million. I mean, he's good, but like, there's someone out there was going to overpay for him, and we weren't because we have another running back. Some team without a running back was going to pay him more than we were. That's the bottom line. I mean, we give him a couple million, we give him 2. You know, a team without a running back is going to come out and give him 3, and we're going to lose out on that. And so rather than that happening and him walk for nothing, we get a 5th out of him. Green Ranger says Haste or Snoop for fantasy. Who gets James's carries? Well, he didn't have any carries last game, did he? So I don't know if there is any carries. I think Hasty gets his carries, though, to answer your question, Green Ranger. I mean, it's a valid question. I think Hasty gets the carries. Fat Boy Shot said Shaq is worth a 6. No, he's not. William says J-Rob and Minshew made 2019 bearable. I'm thankful for that at least. Exactly. And I root for Minshew as well. You know, I would love nothing more than Minshew to come in and lead the Eagles to a successful second half of the year. Because I'm with you there. Like, I invested all of my time and energy in those 2019 years, and that's all we had to live for. Who dat is laughing at something? Let's see who's laughing at. Well, Robinson jerseys will be on sale this week, so I guess that's a plus. It's only a matter of time for the Jags draft another Robinson, right? Or get another Robinson. James had 0 carries last game. Yeah, Robinson is not worth a couple million, but Shaq Griffin's contract is terrible. It's terrible. Let's look at the Jaguars contract. Let's see. I don't think that there's any guy like. Do we end up dumping anyone else? It was the question. I don't know. I mean, let's see here. Shaq Griffin's gone next year. Rayshawn, I think, is gone next year. Roy's gone. I think Ingram does get picked up. I think they pick up his option, maybe. Marvin's gone. Sheriff is good. Yeah, I mean, everyone else is coming back. So you're really only – I mean, I think Arden Key's gone. I mean, because he hasn't done anything. Beathard is probably gone. I think you keep Shatley around. Herndon's gone. I mean, so you're really losing Shaq, Rayshawn, Roy, Marvin. So these are the 5 people right here. I mean, this is the 5 that I think are gone next year. And Evan, I think Evan could get re-signed. So I think you're looking at 4 here. I think you draft a safety, you draft a corner, you draft a tackle, and you draft a receiver. I mean, I think you replace all those guys in the draft next year. I don't know though. Or free agents. There's always free agents out there. Backs are not worth what they used to be. I'm over it already. Goes and cries in the corner. No, I know. Listen, this is 24. It's been less than 24 hours. In 24 hours, we're okay. Listen, if this is your first time watching the show, and I can tell there's some of you first time watching the show because I can see the viewer count and it's way higher than usual. Subscribe to the channel so that you get notifications when we do live shows. We do live shows every Tuesday and Friday. We do film breakdowns. They're great. 2 shows a week, which we're all about the fans in the comments. So go ahead and subscribe while you're here so that you can get notifications. This is a great Jags channel. A brief history. It was started because Jags fans couldn't really have a voice out there, and I wanted to start something that they could. So we try to read all the comments and talk to all the Jags fans. So subscribe so you can be a part of the show. Tomorrow night at 9, we're talking about Jags and Giants, so be a part of that. Hit the like button. Thank you. Brandon Sampson says, Pops, but I'm tired of seeing this team not retain good players and put all their faith in draft picks every season. Yeah. Good teams build through the draft. Unless you're the Rams and you somehow circumvent the salary cap, most teams build through the draft. So I get it, but I get the frustration. I do. Bijan Robinson, here we come, says BT Jags fan. Just kidding. Dang you ugly is his username, and he's probably talking about me. He says he definitely was getting lost in the shuffle of Doug's offense, so good for him. His talents can actually be used elsewhere. I like that point of view. I do, dang. Even though you called me ugly, I think that's pretty insightful. Season is over, says Timmy. Timmy, season's not over. We're good. D. Steiny, don't even know what the feeling to feel right now. It does kind of hurt. It's kind of like seeing an ex-girlfriend start dating someone else. You know, it's like you knew that it was over, but seeing them with someone else just kind of hurts a little bit. That's the feeling. Jaggernaut was rough seeing Ward make plays for the G-men against us. Yeah, Jihad Ward's been actually pretty decent for them. We did a film breakdown, and Jihad Ward actually been playing pretty well this year. Good for him. This team is just frustrating in all levels, says Daniel Jean Mary. You're right, Daniel. And but one thing about it is when they do finally win, all of us that have been here the whole time, we're gonna have the greatest feeling because we've been here the whole time, and it's just it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, and we're on the right track. I made this metaphor last show. The Jags were like a student that continues to bring home F's and D's on their report cards, and now they're bringing home C's. All right, so you can't start making A's before you get to C's. We're getting C's. We're getting to B's. We're competitive. I'm happy. Bob and the World says, I don't mind that ETN's going to get hella touches. It's a good point. ETN touches are probably going to go up because now there's not this narrative of, let's give them both 12 carries a game. Now you can just say, hey, buddy, you're getting the Derrick Henry, you're getting the Jonathan Taylor treatment, you're getting the Saquon treatment. Let's see what you do when you carry it 31 times. Now, Travis Etienne, here's your challenge. Can you be Saquon Barkley and carry the ball 31 times and rush for over 100 yards? Here's the question. Because Etienne can pop off some big ones now. Who are we picking number 1? Israel, we're not picking number 1. We're better than a lot of teams. Zach is Whack says, yo, I missed J-Rob already, but I'm stoked for ETN. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. James Reeves says, we got nothing for him. Yeah, listen, I think we're going to have to just package those picks together. But yeah, we went through the last 2 years of 5th and 6th round picks, and there is nobody. ETN going to be real good at fumbling the ball in the end zone. William, no. Chef Florida Boy, what up, Chef? He says, wait, is Robinson gone for real? And for what? Okay, a 6th, unless he rushes for 240 yards in the next 10 games. So 24 yards a game. If he averages that, then it goes from a 6th to a 5th. We're going to have to face James Robinson this year. Yes, we are. I think someone said in the chat December 22nd. Who dat? The ETN and Hasty combo is pretty good, and this may mean Connor will be activated. Yeah, Snoop Connor seems like a James Robinson type back, so we'll see. Ace Sharpshooter, what up, Ace? He says he got to hold on to that ball first. Yeah. This is essentially his rookie season. He didn't play at all last year, so a rookie, think about if a rookie were to fumble the ball, you'd be like, all right, let's just get it together, rookie. And that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Brandon B says, I hated that fumble though. Jamie says, I don't think ETN is a 30 carry guy. Yeah, I think you're right. But hey, 20, 25. Hopefully the team goes and gets a dub in London. Yeah, you're right, Jags history. Friday night will be our show where we talk about that game. So Friday night at 9, we're talking about that game. Tomorrow night at 9, we're talking about the Giants game and what we can take from it and things like that. Jags history says they will package picks for a player, maybe. Hopefully. Timmy Devil, being negative, I'm sure, says down to the 10-yard line and ETN fumbles. Ball is out. Ball is out. Timmy, you got to start thinking more positive. Josh Burns, only 185 days from the draft, guys. We're good. Listen, we got some easy opponents coming up. All right, let's look at this Jags. Listen, guys. Let's not get too worried just quite yet. All right, let's take a look. Now I know it's hard because to look at the schedule and like try to guess, but you know we got the Broncos, which I don't think they're very good, and the Giants were good. The Broncos are not. The Raiders are not very good. Okay, so I could potentially see a 2-0 there. The Chiefs are good, so that's 2-1. The Ravens are pretty trash. Lamar's been playing pretty bad. The Lions are bad. We can beat them. Titans are scuffed, so we'll go 5-1. Cowboys horrible, 6-1. Jets awful, 7-1. Texans bad, 8-1. Titans, listen, we're finishing the season 9-1, boys. 9-1. I'm just kidding. We're not gonna go 9-1, but it's fun to talk about. The Chiefs, easy, says Shay. The Jags are the type of team that's gonna beat the Chiefs but lose to the Broncos and the Raiders. That's the type of team that we are. Start the tank. We're not tanking. Bring out the bulky masks again, says 28 Meme Co. We had easy opponents the last 4 weeks, says A Sharpshooter. What do you mean? The Giants are good. Colts and Texans are bad, though. You're right. Draft season is Jags season. We're not in draft season yet, boys. And just for the record, this is the latest we've been into the season without talking about the draft in a really long time, since 2017. And before that, 2007 or 8. So let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy it. We were 1 yard away. If we would convert the 4th and 1, or if we convert that last play of the game. 1 yard, either direction, completely different. Completely different. LOL, your optimism. D. Steiny, you know we're optimistic around here. 9-1, boys. LOL, let's go, Kyle. 9-1, sunshine and rainbows. William, I'm realistic. I really am. But sometimes you just got to have some fun. Philip Butcher, channel member, says, hell yes, Jason Son, you complete me. Now you see why I don't buy any Jags jerseys. Yeah, I'm with you there. Trevor Lawrence would be like the safest Jags jersey to buy. Nice one, Lockett. Yeah. Sinrin, take the value when you can. Any player is one play away from getting injured, especially when they're in a contract year. And Sigrin, I'll take it one step further, especially when they're a running back. Like, I know any player can get injured, but running backs are like have a history of it more than others. Chef Fortabush says more like 1-9. Minshew would be 7-0 with this team and coach. No, he wouldn't. I do like Minshew, but every once in a while, Trevor makes a throw. We were just like, oof, like we haven't seen that here ever. The season is over. Face it. Israel. No, I'm not facing it. We are fine. We got the league right where we want them. Look where Vegas put us. We're favorites this week. Again, Vegas has put us in favorites the last, like every game this year. Like, Vegas knows what they're doing. All right? We'll be okay. I get it. Love the jokes. Bought a Minshew jersey, never even wore it. Minshew jersey will never go out of style. I see people at Jags games, like, okay, I take this back. I see a lot of people at Jags games. I go to every Jags game. A lot of people wearing Tebow jerseys, and he never even played in the regular season for us. So I think a Minshew jersey would be acceptable. Shay says, we couldn't stop a Daniel Jones read option. Lamar's going to put up 200 on us. Oh my gosh, I know. When we watch, those of you that watched the film breakdown, we talked about how the Giants love to run Daniel Jones. It's one of their favorite things to do, especially in the fourth quarter. I was blown away at the fact that the Jags were not ready for that. Oh man, that killed me. Sad about J-Rob, but it's our defense that needs help, says Jaggernaut. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Bro, Minshew was 3-4 his rookie year. Trevor's 2-5 his sophomore year. DJ. That's comparing apples and oranges, my guy. Apples and oranges. Bob in the World says, Trevor's coming back year 3 with a haircut and taking us to the promised land. You know, I think there would be something to a Trevor Lawrence haircut. Like, he's due, right? Like, that's a career trajectory we've seen in the past from guys that come into the league with long hair and then they kind of like grow up a little bit. And not to say that he's immature, because I think Trevor's like probably one of the most mature quarterbacks in the league as far as his demeanor and things like that. But yeah, let's cut the hair. Lamar's gonna crush us. VT Jags fans, his faith and patience. Trevor is getting better. He is. He really is. Dougie P equals Urban Meyer. Timmy, you gotta take that negativity out of here. Chef Florida Boy, Lamar will enter God mode and demon mode at the same time. I didn't even know it's possible. Philip Butcher says, going to be another long seasons, Jags fam, but at least we have each other. Patrick Smith just subscribed. Thank you, Patrick Smith, for subscribing. I appreciate it. You guys all should subscribe because this is the type of shows that we do twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays at least. And then we come up with shows like tonight. So if you're a Jags fan and you like talking Jags, we obviously just sit around and talk Jags. We don't have commercial breaks. We talk Jags for as long as the conversation goes. So subscribe. Be a channel member. Being a channel member is fun. It's like $3. All right. So if you want to do that, you can. If not, I'm just glad you're here. You can hit the thumbs up button. That costs you nothing to hit the thumbs up button. Little Turtle, you think Trevor's hair gets in his way sometimes? No. He wears a headband. I don't know. That's a good question, though. I'm out of here at 9 p.m. Time to put the daughters to bed and wrap up before working in tomorrow. Well, Brandon, I'm glad you're here, man. I appreciate it. You listen, priorities. I'm glad you got your priorities right. And best of, I hope you have a great day tomorrow. Why are we trading our players? Shouldn't we be trading for players? No. Not guys in a contract year that we're not going to re-sign. I think James Robinson might be the only candidate. We looked at the list. Unless somebody wants Rayshon Jenkins or Roy Robertson Harris, and I think that's it. What's your real prediction, though, says William? I don't know, man. I those that watch this show a lot, I'm not big on predictions. They're pointless. Like, has anyone ever in your entire life like been like, oh, look at my prediction, it was right preseason? No, it's not. So, I think there's a possibility we could win the division still. Absolutely. I think this team is, a couple coin flips away from winning the division or like leading the division right now. So I'm not ruling anything out yet. I think the team will continue to get better. If we can stay injury free, I think we have a shot. Trevor with short hair equals a giraffe. You guys kill me. Isaiah McNeely says, I don't like it, but I get it. I think that's Isaiah. I think that sums up how I feel. That sums it up. I don't like it, but I get it. Nate Pierce, are there any wide receivers we could trade for before the deadline? I don't think I want to, because although I just said 10 seconds ago we could win this division, I don't think we're like that close. And I think we're better off just drafting one in the first round. Don't know. Bob in the World says he could have a lock of hair tickle the back of his neck while throwing. Bob, you're right. Israel, how would you feel about the season if we lose to the Broncos, possibly without Wilson? Ooh, we might be in some trouble there, but I'd find a glimmer of hope, right? We're in London. It's a weird time. I don't know. If anyone's watching the game in Jacksonville, we're going to be going somewhere, some Jags fans. So hit me up on Twitter and Instagram. I'll talk about it on the show tomorrow and Friday. We're going to an establishment out in Jax Beach. All are welcome to come. It'll be like a little Jags United watch party, I guess. We'll call it that. Jay says, yo, to be honest, I hate to admit it, but I'm at least happy that we are competing with good teams. Last year, we got the doors blown off of us every game. Jay, that's been my thesis all season. I use if you imagine having a kid bringing home a report card and they're bringing home F's all the time, and now they're bringing home C's, right? You're not going to yell at your kid for bringing home C's when they've been bringing home F's. You're going to say, all right, let's do it. We're on the right track. Let's step up our game a little bit, and let's get to the A's and B's. Let's get on that honor roll. I'm with you, Jay. Injury-free is the key, especially ETN, says Gary K. Chef Florida Boy is just laughing at me, which is fine. I can take it. I'm really thick-skinned. I don't think you can be a YouTuber without having thick skin, because people are in the comments and they're like, you're an idiot. I'm like, I know I'm an idiot. You're not telling me anything I don't know. Commenter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tanking is what we're good at, says Timmy Devil 999. Timmy, more positivity out of you, all right? Shay, would you trade a second and a fifth for DJ Moore? I don't like trading for players. Unless you're like one piece away. I don't. We're not one piece away, boys. And listen, like everyone's talking about trading for a receiver. Like I think, like someone said in the chat, like our biggest problem is the defense. And I know holding the other team to the points we've been holding them to, and the turnover, like our points differential at plus 18 points to the defense being better than it's been ever. But we're not one piece. We're not a receiver away. We're like, we need Devin Lloyd to like grow up a little bit. We need a Lukin to like. I mean, I like how he's a veteran. He's 27. He's not a veteran yet. He's a guy who's good, okay? He's been in the league for like 4 years, 5 years. He's not a veteran, okay? I know NFL, technically he is, but a veteran doesn't headbutt a quarterback after he's thrown the ball, all right? We're in desperate need of another defensive back because I've actually backed off of Shaq Griffin because I've been on Shaq Griffin and on how bad he's been last year. So now that everyone's piling on, I'm kind of getting off the pile because there's nothing left to say. Rayshawn Jenkins it surprised me. We're not getting any pressure from our defensive line, so we're not just a receiver away. That's why I'm not about trading for one this year. Draft what you can do, and then maybe next year's the year you make a move at the trade deadline to make a push for the playoffs. This team is 7 to 9 plays away from being 6-1 or 7-0. It hurts and feels good at the same time. Tugger, no, we're on the same page there, buddy. The great mistake Bozos, it's about time you're here, says DJ Moore is not getting traded, guys. And if he does, he's not coming here. All right. It's a very absolute world. Only Siths deal in absolutes. Great mistakes. Josh Burns says trade for D-Hop. Screw it. Man, I would trade a first-round pick for him. And I know everything about it, but I'm all good with that. I disagree, United. Our offense can't score points. I mean, I get what you're saying. My point is that our team as a whole isn't one piece away. Like trading for a receiver like DJ Moore isn't going to like catapult us into the playoffs. I think we're a couple pieces away. I think we're an off season away. Like realistically. Thank you guys for Robinson. The Jets are not messing around. I like Robert Saleh. Look, you're not going to hear me say a bad thing about anybody. I like Robert Saleh. Listen, I'm rooting for the Jets. I'd rather them win than one of these teams that wins every year. So yeah, I'm rooting for James Robinson. Absolutely, I am. Which is a bigger issue with Doug recently, his play calling or his in-game management decision making? I'm not really disappointed with his play calling. I think the biggest issue with Doug is his lack of adjustments from the whole team. Like he's getting beat on things that teams have shown on film over and over and over again. Now, does he not have the Jimmies and Joes to stop what he's seeing on film? Because we sit here twice a week and break down the film from our team and from the other team, and we know what we need to focus on, and Doug doesn't do it. Like, we know what they're trying to do. We knew that the Colts were just going to take what the defense gives you all game. And we didn't get out of cover one all game against the Colts. We played cover one man the entire game. We knew Daniel Jones was going to beat you with his legs eventually, and we didn't have a spy for him at all. We go back. We knew Jalen Hurts was going to run the ball, and we couldn't stop Jalen Hurts from running the ball. It just seems like they're not communicating what's on film to the players. I don't know. There's a disconnect. And maybe it's because the team's young and they're new and they're learning the system. And that's what I'll go with. But, watch some film. Now I'm guessing Marvin's gone. Yeah, he probably is gone. Although he's been decent. Feel like we're always an off-season away, though. Yeah, you're right, Josh. I know. We need speed out wide this offseason. Aiden, I think we need a big body receiver who can go up and get a jump ball. Like at the end of the game there, we didn't have anybody that you could throw a ball to the back pylon and then go get it. We had nobody. Evan Ingram's the closest thing to it, and he's kind of iffy on that. We need a big body guy that can go up at the back pylon and just moss a dude and get both feet in bounds. That's what we're missing. Philip Butcher says, is that the DC or players is the real question? And that's the question, Philip, that I don't have the answer to. But there's something wrong there. It's a first-year defensive coordinator. You have a first-year linebacker. You have a second-year corner. You have a first-year edge rusher. It's there's a lot of things that point to it being the players, but it's hard. I'm not in those meetings, so it's hard to know. Shay says the Giants came out and didn't run the whole first drive. They copied the Colts with the quick passes. Well, they saw that it worked. You know, they're going to make the linebackers tackle until they do. The great mistake, Bozos. This is like the Panthers trading for Gilmore and was all right for them, then went to another team in free agency. It was this or him eventually getting cut, so get what you can for him. I don't hate it at all. Okay, that's fair. Giants literally ran the same offense as Philly. Yeah, Philly had a little bit more from A.J. Brown and things like that. So I get what you're saying. You know, Dallas Goedert, same way. A couple more pieces there, but you're right. It was very similar. I mean, that's what all the teams are going to do against the Jags until we stop it. And they did a pretty decent job. It's just like in crunch time at the end, it's hard for them to stiffen up for whatever reason. M. Lamb Monster says, as a Jets fan, I'm really happy with this trade. Oh, Jesus King. Thank you. $5 through the super chat. He says, I hope James gets the love there in New York, and I question Doug as a head coach. Ooh, that's coming from Jesus King. He's serious. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second, Jesus King. Lamonster says, as a Jets fan, I'm really happy for this trade. The running game isn't done yet. Yeah, listen, you should be happy. He's a good player. He's gonna be good for you guys. I'm excited for him. I hope he does really well for you guys. Jesus King, yeah, we kind of talked about Doug, and I don't know, man. It's hard because like the thing that won him a Super Bowl is the thing that everyone's like getting on him for. The creativity, the trick plays, like even that like double pass they tried to run at the end of the game. Like that was a pretty like crucial play. Like you need every play you can get at the end of the game, and his running the double pass from a receiver to a running back, like what you want to do in that situation. Now, that being said, it almost worked. Like if he catches the ball or it's a little bit better of a throw, then that play, like he's running for a while, that play works, but it didn't work. And it maybe it was because you had a non-quarterback throwing to a running back. So I don't know. It's just hard because it's like it's the same things that got him wins, but now it's hurting him. I don't know. I thought Doug Peterson was going to be the savior of the Jags. Honestly, I don't know if Trevor Lawrence is the right answer. His last drive of the games never seemed to flatter his game. Yeah, I'm willing to give Trevor at least another year before I go down that road, right? We saw with Josh Allen, sometimes it can take 3 years. And so I'm willing to give him another year until then. 86 in here. And 1 like. Come on, guys. Thank you, Philip. Yeah, come on, guys. Hit that thumbs up button. It takes like 2 seconds to hit the thumbs up button, and we're there. All right. Hit the thumbs up button. Israel Otero. If we do trade, it should be like a D-line or corner. I don't think any trades are happening. I really don't. If they're trying to win, they would have traded J-Rob, even if he was in his contract year. But that's not what teams that are trying to win do. Stick a fork in us. I hate the decision-making of this team. J-Rob wasn't going to make big money because he does not have the stats to ask for big money. Could have kept him. We could have definitely kept him. But here's what I was talking about Timmy earlier. Is like, let's say the Jags put a value on him of like $2 million. Some team that needs a running back is going to pay him $3 million. And because the Jags don't need a running back, they wouldn't match. So he was going to be outbid in this offseason by a team that needed a running back. We have a Travis Etienne. We don't need a running back. So we're not going to be willing to pony up what a team that does need a running back will pay. That's just the bottom line. So when you look at the stats and when you look at the numbers, it just didn't make sense to keep him if you could get value out of him. Undisputed has the eye emojis. So I like it. I like it. J-Rob doesn't fit with what Doug wants to run. Wish him the best. All right, Robert Harrington. That's very simple and I think very accurate. DJM, Jaguars would be a winning franchise if they Oh, I'm not even reading that. I might DJM. I like you too much for that. Bob in the World says, I don't mind that they're trying a whole bunch of stuff early. Get a lot under your belt to build on for next year. Yeah, I mean, I think I think you're right there. I think they're definitely aiming for next year, which is it's a first-year coach, a second-year quarterback. You have 2 number 1 overall picks of the last 2 years. They're not going to come out of the cannon just firing away like whatever the expression is. Like, you got to give them some time. What did the Jags receive? Asked Impulse. So right now it's a 6th-round pick, but if James Robinson hits like 600 yards on the season, then it goes to a 5th-round pick. I think he needs like 240 yards in the next 10 games for it to be a 5th-round pick. So all signs are pointing to it being a 5th-round pick because James Robinson will be their feature back. He's going to be a workhorse. He's going to get a lot of carries up there in New York. And frankly, it's going to work out well for the Jets, and we got value for him. It's kind of a win-win. I know Jags fans, Jesus King, another $2. Thank you, Jesus King. He says, our team has talent and we're not playing like it. Yeah, you see those games early in the season and you're like, man, like this team is potential to be really, really good, like one of the best in the league, and they're just not executing, which sucks because execution is like, but again, we talk about on this show all the time, like the difference between a good team and a bad team in the NFL is consistency. See, we've been watered down by bad play here in Jacksonville for so long that we think of a bad team as a team like the Jaguars that get blown out. That's not a bad team. That's a really, really bad team. Bad teams have good talent. They're just not consistent. So we just have to make that step of being consistent to move from bad team to good team. That's the goal. Hopefully it happens in the second half of this year. Realistically, probably going to happen next year. Cy Robbins says, what's your opinion on Travon Walker so far? To me, he looks pretty average and not as explosive as I thought. I'm not seeing number 1 overall pick number 1 pick play out of him. I think he's been playing out of position this whole time. He needs to be hand in the dirt, D-end. Like, he needs to be a 5 tech. He needs to be on the inside shoulder of the tackle, hand in the dirt, getting upfield, taking on 2 blocks, getting in the backfield on pass plays. He never played edge rusher at Georgia. He was a defensive lineman. So I get that he's uber talented and his measurables are through the charts. And so why not try him at edge? Because if it works out, then you may have like a Julius Peppers type person out there. But it's looking like he's probably better suited to being that hand in the dirt, 5 tech, 7 tech, slide into 3 tech. I mean, he would play 3 technique at Georgia and was effective. So we'll see. Like someone said in the chat, maybe they're just trying stuff and see what happens. Kyle Donaher says, Jags can't win because we don't execute in crunch situations. Good point. DJM, I'm sorry. I'm a Texas Jaguars fan. All I hear from Cowboys and Texans fans is that we're bound to relocate once Shad Khan is tired of sucking. I don't think so. I think the Jags are a great market. Jacksonville's a great market for an NFL team. I mean, yeah, they were all Giants fans in the stadium last week, but that happens in like all Florida-based teams in any sport because people move to Florida. People from New York move to Florida. People from, yeah, there's a bunch of Giants fans in Jacksonville, but they moved to Jacksonville because the weather is way better. I mean, the same thing happens when we play a lot of teams. Look at when you go to a Tampa Bay Rays game when they're playing the Yankees. It's 80-20. Go down to a Miami Marlins game when they're playing the Phillies, right? It's like that because Florida is just such an attractive place for snowbirds and northerners that happens. So it's always going to happen. Bob in the World says he's been above league average in the run game anyway. There's something to be said there. Okay, that's fair. Which season in Doug's tenure in Philly did he miss the playoffs? I think his first one and his last one, I believe. Diego, I'm from San Diego, and I always hear Jaguars rumors. I dropped the Chargers when they left. I'll become a Jags fan if they relocate here. Yeah, we're not going to talk about relocation. That's out of the question. It's really not. Like, it's just look at the money that they've put into it. Shad Khan just bought like beachfront property here in Jacksonville, like Jacksonville Beach. Like, he's not going anywhere. Like, not like a house property. He bought like a establishment and things like that. Like, he's invested. MT. So what if ETN gets hurt? What do we do when shaking my head? What do we do then shaking my head? I can't with this franchise. Listen, if you're getting here late, this was the final year of his deal. We weren't going to resign him. We had 10 games left with him. 10 games. That's it. So, yeah, we're all sad. We're not going to see him, but he was going to be somewhere else in 10 games anyways. Shay says, Jags are simultaneously better than their record and deserve their record. Different type of disappointment this year. That's a good way of putting it, Shay. Shay's a wordsmith. He's got a way with words. That's a good way to put it. It's a different type of disappointment. but at least they're exciting, right? At least we get to watch the game to the very end. California doesn't need any more teams. Jesus is King says, I honestly can't listen to Doug's press conferences right now. I just don't want to hear the excuses. Yeah, I don't like his press conferences either. Like, at least Doug Marrone was, like, honest with you. Doug Peterson is just kind of, but that's how all new coaches are. Like, they think that their crap doesn't stink, and they think that they've hung the moon, and then they warm up to the city. But yeah, right now we're just getting some pretty crappy answers for sure. Bought the lemon bar in Seahorse, Neptune Beach, Jason. Yeah, you know me. I'm a beach guy. I live out at the beach. I have my entire life. I'll never leave, probably. So, yeah. Y'all need to stop with the damn relocation, man. Get out of the chat. Philip, it's always going to be a thing, and it's not just Jags. Listen, I'm a Tampa Bay Rays fan. I'm a pretty big fan. You know, always talking about relocation for Tampa Bay Rays. Orlando Magic, right? They're a team that they've talked about relocation in the past before. It's like any small market, it's always going to happen. You just got to, ignore it. We will learn. I'm tired of hearing that. Yeah. This explains his low amount of carries, says some kind of minister. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It does, for sure. Well, listen, I hate ending the show here, but I think we've talked all we can about James Robinson. I mean, this show was all dedicated to James Robinson. I think it was good. If you're still here, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are doing a show tomorrow night at 9 p.m. We do shows at 9 p.m. typically. David Neal says, how much you want for that black MJD jersey? I ain't selling that thing, David. You wish. You wish I was selling that. Look, subscribe to the channel. We do live shows at 9 p.m. Tuesdays and Fridays. If you enjoyed the show or you enjoy talking with other Jags fans and talking about the Jags, subscribe and get it on your calendar when we do live shows. This is the best Jags show out there because it's just Jags fans talking to other Jags fans. So it's all we do all the time. Follow my Twitter and Instagram. We talk about Jags all the time. It's a good time. If you're into like the Twitch thing, I go on Twitch sometimes and do some things on there. If you're into that type of thing, it's Jags_United on Twitch. I appreciate all you guys being here, man. And what a great show. What a great time. I love talking about it. I'm excited for James Robinson. I hope that he does well, but not against the Jags on December 22nd. Thank you, Jesus is King, for the $5 super chat and the $2 super chat donation. I really appreciate that. You guys are the best. Really, really just appreciate you guys all in the chat. Hopefully see you guys here around soon. So don't be a stranger if you're new here. It's your first time watching the show. We hope to see you around soon. Until tomorrow night at 9 p.m. when I see you, as